Yo, it feels good to say this. It's been a while. ADHD is live again. We're back in the house. It's your old trusty co-host or main host, Nick, with ADHD. He's an idiot. He's not rehearsed, obviously. To this side of me is my number one partner in crime, Aisha. It's just say hello to everybody. Oh, you're muted, girly. Unmute yourself. First move and she's muted. I love it.
This, guys, is completely unrehearsed, but we like authenticity, so that's what we're giving you.
Yes, exactly. Unabated truth at the expense of our own good look. We'll look stupid for you guys. Now,
Just a little bit.
I think if I had to guess, ADHD has probably given off somewhat of an impression of hippie, for lack of a better word, or just very passive and stuff like that. And to an extent, I'm trying to create that in the world, no doubt. But at the same time, we have this theme, dark matter. We're diving into the dark matters in order to manifest light waves. So we want to go into yeah, exactly, girly. Give them something they can surf on, right? Yeah. So we're gonna dive into the paranormal, the occult, the psychological, mind, all kinds of crazy stuff.
The interesting stuff.
The nitty gritty. And just to hit you guys with some real shit and show you what ADHD is all about, producer, you mind queuing up that clip of the President of the United States about to address the nation? And people out there, if you think this is acceptable for the Commander-in-Chief of America, I'd like to hear from you.
1983 Midwesterners will repel bullies.
Recorded off-air transmissions from the Bush-Clinton presidential election campaign in the 1990s.
Let's see if he blinks once, people.
We can see that Bill Clinton was nothing more than a puppet to the puppet masters, which placed him in the White House.
Guys, he's about to address the nation as President of the United States, looking at
seems to be similar to a person who is under a hypnotic trance.
I haven't seen one blink.
In the first half, you ran off the court and hugged Jason Terry, and Snell got a layup because you were off the floor.
Folks.
Oh, I didn't know I was in the game.
Aisha, what do you think of that?
That was just a teaser. That was one of the most normal glitches on that video.
Fair enough. But it's one of the most impactful, if you ask me.
Yeah, and the clip is much longer than what it came up as. He's about to address the nation, and he's literally not even blinking.
Dude, at best, I hope that's a clone or a double or a fake. Because if that's the real president of the United States like that, guys, that's the commander-in-chief. He has the nuclear football. They're dolling him up like a fucking corpse. His eyes don't blink. That's not doctored footage.
Crazy stuff.
That's the world we live in, people. So that in mind, there's crazy mind control experiments by the CIA called MK Ultra. And I have all the documents from FOIA requests. They had to release them all over the years. The ones that they weren't able to burn before, the FOIA got their hands on them. But that relates a lot to Hollywood and celebrities. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they have some pretty bizarre, inexplicable behaviors that have been caught on camera. And we're going to dive into tonight with you folks to have some fun because we want to make the light waves.
Do you feel like everyone's heard of MK Ultra? Because if not, then you definitely should explain it.
Should I sum it up? That's why she's here, folks.
Definitely.
So MK Ultra was a program that officially, I believe, began in the late 50s as Project or Operation Artichoke. And it evolved into MK Ultra, which was a program officially, you can look into their mission statement. It was a way to understand and subvert the human mind from the very natural impulses as self-preservation. That's their stated mission, to act against your own best interest. And when you see somebody like Sirhan, who murdered Bobby Kennedy, saying, I guess I've seen the video of me doing it, but I have no recollection of pulling my gun and aiming at somebody or let alone shooting somebody. The last thing I remember is seeing a woman in a polka dotted dress. And that's a trigger. MK Ultra uses hypnosis, drugs, and just depraved methods of psychological torture, such as putting somebody to sleep for 30 days, inducing them into, they must use drugs or whatever, but when they're in that state, they repeat messages to them. They call it psychic driving. and they'll literally just tell him the same thing for 30 days in a row, just like the same message, like, I'm going to kill Bobby Kennedy. I'm going to kill Bobby Kennedy. You know what I mean? Like whatever they're programming. And these Sirhan, when they looked at his diaries, he had written that thousands of times. Just one after that, I'm going to kill Bobby Kennedy. I'm going to kill Bobby Kennedy. It filled up notebook pages of it. Like, that's not a naturally occurring situation in a human psyche. That's been put into him. So anyways, that doesn't even scratch the surface. I don't want to like get into how deep MK Ultra goes. If people have questions about that or whatever, hit me. Yeah. I'll provide any, but I'm not trying to go down that scary stuff. And right now, I'm trying to laugh at some stupid looking celebrities.
No, but what's interesting about MK Ultra is, if you've ever heard of the Unabomber, who, you know, mailed bombs, domestic terrorism and all that.
Ted Kaczynski.
That in university, we learn about the Unabomber, and we see a clip like from this Netflix show, which basically like has him saying, the world is crazy, and that's why. And I was a part of MK Ultra, and that's why like my mind is a bit messed up.
Well, the fascinating thing about his story, he was the valedictorian of his Harvard class, or whichever Ivy League college he went to. I forget which one.
He went to Harvard. I'm sure he went to Harvard.
And he was the most distinguished student. He was the top of the class. So
if not, it was one of those American,
Harvard or Yale.
I'm not really like clued up on American universities.
I'm pretty sure it was Harvard. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, wrote a manifesto explaining that he was very much details his victimhood at MK Ultra victim. Like, didn't know what he was getting into, didn't realize that he was signing up for this, or probably didn't sign up for it, and found himself being.
He explains being like kind of like lured in, kind of.
Exactly.
Like, he didn't know what he was getting himself into. When he got into it, he was getting so much praise from these professors that he looked up to so much that he basically carried on with the experiments, even though he knew it was like really unethical.
Yeah, and he in his manifesto, or whatever you want to call it, he writes. It's very it can be bland reading and difficult because he's so smart. But if you ask me, if you read it, he makes a compelling argument. And I don't know that he's been painted the way that, like, you know, the official narrative is that he sent packages with bombs in them to like congressmen and stuff like that. And that would be a psychotic act. And he doesn't strike me as a psycho like that. I don't know that story's what they tell me, the narrative is never, I'm not going to believe that's like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you're never going to believe that. Yeah.
I mean, if the narrative tells me to jump right, I'm instinctively going to duck left to protect myself and then like assess the situation further if it's true or not. You know what I mean? But anyways, so CIA, MK Ultra is responsible for that. They're responsible for like every freaking drug epidemic that we've ever had, every major domestic terrorist attack, every cult situation and massacre, the 60s Haight-Ashbury psychedelic movement. Just I have evidence of all this, but that's not what we're going to get into. Let's see. First of all, I wonder if we can see anybody chatting. Aisha, do you have Pilled or YouTube pulled up by chance? I forgot to tell you that, but we like to say we chat back here, folks, and then we get to talking to each other, and we forget about you guys entirely.
Let me go on my phone.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up too. If you guys are chatting out there, don't bail on us yet. We're coming. We want to see what you guys are saying. We want to incorporate it into the show. Like Aisha said, we don't script this shit. We need some script. Give us some guidance. Peace.
Okay. Of course, my Wi-Fi.
Your browser's freezing, I bet. Yeah, of course. That's all right. The tech gods are trying to jam us up. Not going to stop us. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of comments. Oh, no, that's Uncensored Dave's show from earlier. I was in a delusion that all these people were looking for us. Silly dude. Which, by the way, our producer, our presentation, like this man, Uncensored Abe, Alan, and his brother Average Joe, and the organization they're putting together, and the reason they put it together in the pursuit of like some, dare I say, legitimate journalism, legitimate reporting nowadays, God forbid.
Yeah.
It's inspired.
Uncensored.
It's
exactly
motivating.
What the media should be in the first place, uncensored.
Yes. Well, I don't think I've ever told the public this, but I remember right before our first show, I asked Alan, I was like, hey, man, we can kind of get like a little crazy and spit off the top of the head. Like, I don't want to do anything that's going to mess up your brand or anything like that. Is there anything I should be aware of going into this show? He's like, bro, your marching orders are, we're here to fuck the internet up. I was like, can't do. You got the right guy.
That's one thing I can do. That's funny.
Yeah, I was born to do that. You found the right man. But anyways, my shit's jamming up a little bit too. So we're on pill.net and Foxhole app, which proud plug are my boys, places where there's also freedom, no censorship, no data mining, social media the way it should have been, as my boy Matt Brown, who created it, says. When you're on Facebook, when you're on YouTube and the rest of them, not only are they censoring and suppressing and manipulating you in ways that you're not aware of, the worst, most egregious part is when somebody's giving you a product for free, you're the product. You're what being sold. So they're mining data and collecting things on you that quantum AI is starting to learn you in ways that we don't even know ourselves. And they're selling it to God knows who for God knows what purposes. But pill.net is against those kind of practices. You literally don't even need to sign up to use the site. But if you do want to sign up, all you need to put in is an email address, because like they have to be able to correspond with you, but they only want that. Like, you know what I mean? It's much better. So fuck YouTube. Yeah, we're on that platform right now, and we'll keep exploiting and using the fuck out of them until they, they're gonna ban us eventually. So, let's play chicken
while it lasts.
Yeah, let's play a game of chicken. Let's see, let's see who blinks, and fuck YouTube. If you're over on YouTube and watching us over there, we appreciate you watching us wherever is most convenient for you. And thank you. We're not saying fuck you at all. Watch us there if you'd like. Just so you know, my goal is to bring YouTube and the rest of them down. So if you want to like be with the cool kids, why don't you come over to pill.net? The water's fine.
The water's fine.
Until they're gonna ban us eventually. So all right. So do we want to get into some clips? Asha, what would be a good one?
One of the celebrity ones, because the cat.
Give us a timestamp that we could tell Abe to pull up for us. Like maybe Nicki Minaj. Didn't we say that was a crazy one when she's talking about like her altar?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the Nicki Minaj one. Am I still on the screen?
Yeah, assume that you are, even if you don't see yourself.
So
I would assume that you are.
10:25.
Oh,
this one's crazy because it she kind of even like says that she's got a split personality on the screen, but like
she says he's out of her control. She's tried to tell him to go away, and he won't do it. Like, just listen to it. It's wild. Alan, would you mind if you get a chance to cue up? What was it? 10:25.
Yeah, 10:25.
My man, he's talking to me. He's on it, folks. That's our producer. That's Uncensored Dave, and here we go. Right on cue.
Crazy boy who lives in me, and he says the things that I don't want to say. He was born, just a few months ago. I think he was born out of rage. He was conceived in rage. So he bashes everyone. He threatens to beat people, and he's violent.
That must be nice to have like an ignorant loudmouth who you can just sort of blame every...
He wants to be blamed. I don't want to blame him. I ask him to leave, but he can't. He's here for a reason. People have brought him out. People conjured him up. Now he won't leave.
Also, I want to find out about this situation.
All right, let's stop. People conjured him up, and now he won't leave. She's telling us, folks.
Yeah.
Does she sound like she was like joking or in any way not telling like a matter of fact thing according to her?
No, she completely was being serious. Like you could tell that.
Whether she is delusional or not, she fully believed what she was saying, if you ask me.
Yeah, and she said, I'm sure there's a video of her saying she has like another alter ego.
Yeah, dude, they have that's the thing. So in order to create the ultimate Manchurian candidate mind slave, they have to induce multiple personality disorder, which is how you fragment the personalities in such a way that multiple people live inside one person and they're unaware of the others. Yeah. So you can create and they literally, oh my God, we got a lot of chats. Look, La Regina's first in the chat. Did you see the new Jason A video that dropped tonight? I'm not sure who that is, but hey, Nick and Aisha. Aura's in the chat. What's up on pill.net?
Hey, everybody. Hey, Aura.
Aura's our girl. Aura's an ADHD family, wouldn't you say? She holds us down.
OJ.
So's La Regina in every single way. Let's see what else we got here. Average Joe Patriot, our brother. Hey, man, good to see you. Who's he talking to? I find it. I don't know who that is. Wow. What's up, fam? Nice to be a part of the fam, man. Happy to be here. Thanks for watching us.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Texas Girl. I recognize that name from my Uncensored Dave Discord. Oh, that's why he isn't answering me. Average Joe. LOL. That's funny. Yeah, he's producing the show. LOL. Alan, you hear them talking about you right now? Yeah, he's holding it down. He's putting in work. Does Alan never not work? By the way, folks, this guy is a fucking hustler, and I like it. Happy to be on the staff. All right, he's always here, Gary. Keck. Yeah, just right. Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Alan is always working. He's always here. We got more comments. Average Joe, good to see you. Uncensored Dave's, much love, fam. Hell yeah. What up, brother? I'm gonna go check YouTube real quick while I'm at it. And D Live, right? I don't know that we're on there, right? Oh yeah, we are. Wow, there's people over here in D Live.
D Live.
Yeah, I'll send you the link if you wanna check out the chat. Actually, I like D Live way more than YouTube. You know what I mean? Like they're real. That's a legitimate company if you ask me, trying to do some cool stuff. Dude, they made me like
YouTube works for people though, so
exactly. They chose my stance. Exactly.
Literally, I had a great documentary that I sent like round to people about coronavirus, and it's been completely wiped. Like I can't find it anywhere, and it was like one of the best ones I've watched.
This is why you got to get Firefox web browser, because they allow you to download every single YouTube video, and anything you ever like. Don't trust that it's going to be there tomorrow. Download it to your own like local hard drive. That's what I've been doing lately, because I've learned the hard way on that over the years with YouTube. Like, they will find it eventually.
They're lucky that they watched it in time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we need to start saving that shit and stop relying on YouTube as the host. And in fact, Pilled.net will host your shit. Go put your videos on Pilled. Put it on Uncensored Dave's developing a platform. Telegram is a great host for these kind of things. But I would bail off the YouTube shit, because they're trying to kill every last one of you. They're coming to get you sooner or later. If you have an independent mind, or dude, I'm not even like I thought they were like going after conservatives or whatever. I'm a conservative, but I'm not a Republican or anybody that thinks for themselves.
Anyone that thinks for themselves. Dude, anybody.
We had a medical doctor, a pediatrician on our show, and he spoke very highly of vaccines. He was very much for them. He says, I know, matter of fact, they save lives. I've worked in Africa and whatnot. What I don't like about them, you did. So you would say that he was not at all like controversial or, I mean, by any stretch, right?
He was literally giving like an objective viewpoint. He even
from his experience,
vaccines, like
exactly
in third world countries.
He said he's seen it 100% work.
Yeah, because we've seen it work. We know they work, but
I don't know that. By the way, I personally don't.
I mean,
I'm not going there right now. I'm not going there right now. But what I'm saying is, the only thing he said that could be like, this must have been what got him on their bad side, was he said, right now we're in a Cold War more or less with China and other places, and that's where we source a lot of this stuff from. So it can't be assured that the sourcing is anything. You're getting it from an enemy of war. And he's like, for that reason, I would not recommend anybody take them right now that I care about. I don't recommend my patients at the moment, because we can't be sure of the source, not the vaccines themselves. Well, that's all it took for him to say. His personal private YouTube account that he uses just to surf the net, he doesn't promote anything on there. That very night after he was on our show, erased, scrubbed. And he got so whacked out by that, he wrote me like a long thing about like, I'm going to reevaluate and step away. I haven't heard from him since. I was like, bro, I'm so sorry I got you into anything. Like, just let me know you're all right every once in a while. I haven't heard from him still. They scared him that bad. You know, because he's a career man.
I remember you telling me like months ago, because I watched that video, and I remember you saying like literally the same night his whole YouTube.
A couple hours later, dude, the next morning he woke up, dude, and him and I were friends, and like he's that like I mean, he has to look out for his career. That's what they do to you. They intimidate you and scare you. Unfortunately, they didn't realize they were gonna run into a guy like me, who has nothing to lose. Like, it can't be, you know.
Yeah.
So, and let's go. I'm up for the fight.
I feel like so many people are anyway, so I'm just like, keep censoring us, keep doing it.
Yeah,
it's bringing more attention. Like, people are noticing, people are getting censored. Like, I posted an Instagram story, and the amount of people that DM'd me saying, oh my god, it's saying it's censored, oh my god, it's saying
that's the best,
it's hidden content. I was like,
you can't get better promotion than that.
This is what they've been doing, but you just don't see it. Now you see it.
I love it when they fact check my shit, because you can't get better promotion than that. They won't even let you see it to judge for yourself. And by the way, if you guys aren't aware of the fact checking nonsense, they don't tell you the fact checking. okay, who are these if we were to have arbiters of truth that are fact checkers at all, if you could even justify that, which you can't if you ask me, but let's go with that for a second. Shouldn't we know who they are? Wouldn't that be a good start? So we can decide if they're worth they're factual. If you were going to stand in your integrity and be like, yes, this is my fact checker, and this is why we don't want your thing on this false information on our site, because my fact checker, who I trust and is accredited or whatever, says it's false. They don't tell you who the fact. And guess what? I looked into it. Zuckerberg hired a Canadian company. He outsourced them to fucking be the fact checkers, because that way they don't fall under the jurisdiction of United States law, and he can still claim to be a platform. It's a workaround. But the Platform Protection Act is only afforded to a organization until they start editorializing or censoring or at all interfering with anybody, because platforms are supposed to offer everybody an equal platform. That's why you can't sue them. They can't be held accountable for anything in a court of law, because they're like, look, I just gave everybody a platform. Anything that's done on my platform, I can't be held responsible. Well, if you start editorializing and censoring and controlling the information that's going out, you're not a platform anymore. You're a media outlet. And you can't libel, you can't slander, you can be held accountable for anything you say that's not true or against somebody. Like they would be in a world of hurt. This Canadian, it's so egregious. The fact checkers, but anyways, do we want to get into more? Let's see if there's more comments here. What do people want to do? We want to watch more videos, or I'm checking out. Can you check out YouTube, Aisha, while I'm looking at DLive? See if anybody's on there.
Yeah. Have you got a link?
Yeah, I think so.
I'll find it. Try and find it without, but.
Uncensored Abe's live stream right now would be it.
Okay, right, cool.
DLive, my family over here. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this. I'm starting to see a theme. LOL. What's up, Dare? Hey, I'm gonna catch up a little bit here. Thanks, guys. Yo, ADHD. What's up, Paulitas? Sorry, I've got old man eyes. I'm like leaning off the screen. I'm not even. Oh, here, Alan just linked the YouTube, by the way, Aisha.
I found it already anyway.
I figured you would have. She's quick. All right.
Kaczynski was brilliant, says Claire. Yeah, like in university. So I study international politics and security at uni. So we delve into terrorism and stuff. So this one week we were doing domestic terrorism, and Ted Kaczynski came up.
Good job.
And yeah, so we watched like a bit of his, I think it was like a reenactment series of it on Netflix. I'm sure it was.
I heard about that.
But yeah, I think he was in like the interrogation room after they caught him, and he was explaining why he did what he did. And like I was in uni, like listening, like intently, like, okay, this sounds like he's not crazy.
He was the smartest man in his
with everything he's saying.
You're right.
They're like sat here, like, yeah, they're like sat here telling the class, like, yes, this man is a terrorist. This man is a terrorist, and I'm sat there like, okay.
So a terrorist is a sensible, intelligent man, then.
A terrorist is a clever guy who knows exactly what he's talking about. Like,
it has a problem with the system he's in.
Yeah, like I had so many questions in that class.
Well,
I just kept them to myself. I was just like,
you're a smart girl. You're a smart girl. See, you're a genius because you go to school to learn, but you realize the way you learn is by learning the opposite of what they're telling you.
Yeah, I'm thanking God that I went to university, because they did this to me. They did this to me.
You're Frankenstein's monster, girl.
Yeah.
We all are. So that's an interesting thing to get into. In the universities today, because you and I were talking about this, how do they define conservative and liberal?
Okay.
How's a conservative defined in your college campus?
Because
no, just like generally speaking.
Right. Okay.
You're not held to a definition by word.
So they really like associate liberalism with kind of just like wanting the world to be how they want it to be. So like idealistic, cooperation.
Idealistic. It is idealistic, but it's not realistic.
No, it's not realistic. Yeah.
You can't make a utopia where everybody gets something for free, because to give somebody something for free, you have to take it from somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. But conservatism is kind of
stigmatized, right?
It's linked to like realism.
Because it is. That's a good.
The thing is, like, they do acknowledge that like liberals do go to war a lot more than conservatives. They argue that, but then their argument for being liberal is to prevent war, and I'm like,
exactly.
How does that make sense?
Here's the problem.
Doesn't make any sense.
Liberals want to be accepting of everybody, unless you don't accept the liberal indoctrination. And then they fucking will do everything to destroy you and everything. Like,
yeah, and they heavily believe in intervention in other countries.
They believe they're holier. They claim this like equal everything or whatever, but they actually believe that they are the right way, and therefore, if you don't agree with their way, it's not equal. Like they're hypocrites to a great degree. But the problem is most liberals don't realize what's going on. Most liberals are well intended.
No, they completely don't get it. Like that's
they're being manipulated.
They completely don't get it, because the way we get taught in university, it highlights that like even more. People don't get it. They learn what they're supposed to learn, and then they spew it back out, and that's it. That's all they do.
Scar Joe, or I'm sorry, my eyes are so bad right now. Sean Joe said nihilism, most intolerant. Exactly. Well, see, when you're pushing a liberal philosophy that it has to progress and things have to, there's a difference between equal opportunity, which anybody with like a rational mind would say that's reasonable and fair to say that that's a standard we should offer everybody. Equal opportunity. That's different than equal, guaranteeing equal outcome. You can't guarantee equal outcome. That's impossible because nobody wants the same thing. Everybody wants different things in their life, and they should be free to pursue that to different ends. For instance, some people are workaholics. They just want to go make all kinds of money all the time. And they should be free to go do that. I don't like to do that. I work so that I can enjoy my life outside of work. So I should be free to work as much or little as I see fit to live the life I want to live. Now, equal outcome guaranteeing that takes away my freedom to do that. They're saying, no, you have to have the same life as this person or whatever. And who determines that? You know how that becomes, they try to bring it about? More government, more regulation. It always infinitely grows.
More organizations,
less freedom, less liberties, less individual sovereignty to make up your own goddamn mind what you want to do. That's conservative as I understand it. The reason I bring it up is I had a great economics teacher who finally helped me make sense of all this. He said, liberalism essentially, you feel that more government offers the most likelihood for optimal society happiness. Conservative believes the least government you could possibly have is the most likely to lead to optimal happiness. And if that's the definition, I'm a conservative through and through. Like the government doesn't do nothing good for me.
That is not.
Well, that's not the definition in college. Exactly. No. That's why I bring it up.
It's not.
Do they denigrate conservatives? Like, do they certainly probably don't paint it in a nice light.
No, they don't. They literally link it to realism. Realism is linked to like a nasty human nature.
Nihilism.
Yeah.
Well, see, realism would be living in reality. They're bastardizing what realism should be because conservatism is realism. It's living in reality, but they're saying realism is acknowledging that humans are parasites and a plague and inherently chaotic and warring on this planet.
So they take that part of human nature or the society that we have today as that, but
it's unnatural. That's not nature.
It's not.
It's destroying itself.
It's literally the opposite.
That's them destroying nature. Exactly. And then they project. They say it's nature. That's in our nature. They always say that we're too dumb to govern ourselves. We can't be left to our own ends because we'll destroy everything. Wow, they're destroying everything. You know,
bear in mind, I went into university kind of like on an objective point of view. Like I thought I was completely liberal.
All young people do.
Yeah, like I was like, yes. Yes. Let's band together. Let's sing.
Yeah, save the world. Everybody be equal. I hear you. It's a great ideal. But as you grow in life, you start to realize that's all it is. It's not real. It can't be done realistically. And it shouldn't even be pursued like that because it's just, again, assuring equality of outcome is a disastrous thing. Look into Jordan Peterson, the psychologist, talking about that. Equality of opportunity, obviously, that's great to have. We should have equality of opportunity. Quality of outcome, like who determines that? How could you even make it happen if it was supposed to be, if it was a good thing? But it's not a good thing. Freedom. Everybody should be able to decide what they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
The government doesn't do anything. The government has never, this is another strange thing, but as a conservative, I am not extremely, through my personal experiences, fond of the police. They've never once positively directly benefited my life. They've only tripped me up and jammed me up and hurt me. And there was times I was doing illegal things and I deserved it. Don't get me wrong. And I would own those. But many times I wasn't. and they were the ones doing the illegal thing on me. I defended myself in court against some egregious charges, and I got them all dropped. And she told me, like, how I showed up to the first trial, she would have turned and pressed charges on the cop for how egregious it was. Like, they are the biggest gang in the country, if you ask me, and they have the law on their side. They're like a mafia, but like no other competition.
They're
the only mafia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sanctioned mafia, lawfully sanctioned mafia. All right, let's see if there's any more comments out in Pilled and D Live. Anyone else buffering? Live in fantasy world, always creating another. Man, my eyes are really bad.
Someone needs glasses.
Another dilemma to overcome.
I'll teach you some eye techniques.
Right now?
That can help heal your eyesight. No, I'll send them to you.
Oh, you know what?
If anyone else wants to know, there are techniques to heal your eyesight. If anyone's got if anyone's short-sighted or long-sighted, there are ways. The doctors don't tell you this, but there are ways to correct your eyesight if it's a bit blurry.
Okay,
Nick, your picture's gone, by the way.
Yeah, I'm leaning out the screen so I can look, but this somebody on pill.net, TG5, pardon me if I'm not seeing your name right, but they're saying very pretty girl, smart too. Yeah, no shit.
Oh,
why do you think I tried to get her to be my co-host? No, thank you. That's cool. I totally agree. She's well put together.
Oh, thanks.
She's going to study international politics, and she's into like CIA and like how these operations work. Like she is. When I heard the way Aisha and I met, I did a podcast previous to this, and this.
Yeah, I watched your YouTube video, one of your creepy YouTube videos, one of his like freaky. Watch it. I'll just tell you that it's with this lady who is like, I can't even say anything but watch it. I watched one of his videos.
Dr. Kimberly.
Yeah, shout out to Dr. Kimberly.
That's hired by the police. Absolutely, Dr. Kimberly is a medically, or I mean, a PhD doctor who's a psychic that's hired by the police and the government for her skills. So I mean, you know, if you don't believe in that stuff, that's fine, but the federal government does. And she was on our show, and you know, we got into some crazy stuff. I think it's great. It was a lot of fun. And it resolves itself.
It's a crazy video. Anyway, I watched the video. I was freaked out. Watched like 10 minutes, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't think I can watch any more of this." So I turned it off, and then I put like a more light-hearted one on, and then I watched that, and I was like, I have so many questions right now. So like I had recently like just created a Quora account because some of my friends like weird stuff too. So she was like, download this and read the stories. And I was like, all right, okay. So I downloaded it, went to Quora to find whoever was in the video, the freaky video, to ask questions. So it was Nick that I found. And I was like, hey, Nick. I have a few questions for you. And it was like,
no, you didn't even say that. You came out of nowhere. Like, without even like, your very first message to me was, hey, I found you through your video. And then, so you say that the moon is hollow and it was towed here and it's artificial. If that's the case, what would the implications be like in relation to astrology? I was like,
yeah.
And first of all, I didn't know what she looked like or anything. I just this random person reaching out to me with this awesome like hypothetical philosophical question. And I kind of needed something like that at the time because I was feeling like not like stimulated. I was like, God damn, I don't know, but like I'm intrigued. Like who are you?
Yeah.
And then I find out like we got to know each other like over the phone and stuff for a while. And then like I finally see, I'm like, oh my God, this is who I've been talking to? I'm glad I didn't know she looked like this at first, or I probably wouldn't have been as cool with her. Like I would have been nervous or something.
Yeah, so moral of the story, if you have a question, just ask. Just find the person you watch the video from, just ask them. I mean, we had like, he didn't really have an answer because it was such a crazy question. I mean, but we had a conversation and it's led to this, so.
Well, it got us going. Remember we started exactly. It led to this, which is the best part. But it was fun. We started talking about how the moon relates to the tides, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the tides and whatnot are responsible for life coming on the land, and if not all complex life evolving. So we were like, well, maybe the moon was put there on purpose to facilitate that, or it was a happy accident. But that's the kind of stuff I like exploring, and this chick liked it too. Then I found out she's like a gorgeous young lady that's going to school for international politics. I'm like, dude, are you CIA sent to get me? Are you a CIA agent? Because if so, like you guys win. You got good touche, CIA. You got me. I'm in.
I feel like it was a QAnon video on YouTube, and I'm sure you said that one got deleted.
Dude, that QAnon video, that has led to everything that all this show that I'm doing now. I talked to my friends into doing what because they were always asking me about it. And I was like, look, I'm tired of answering these questions. So you guys, like, let's record an hour, like podcasting or something. You think of everything you want to ask me. So that way, when I'm done with this, I don't have to talk about it ever again. And like, that was my only intention. And I wanted to hear how it went. And I was like, bro, can you send that to me? He's like, I'll post it on YouTube so you can listen to it. Go back a couple weeks later. I'm like, dude, did you like promote this or something? And he's like, no, what are you talking about? I'm like, take a look at it. There's thousands of views, hundreds of comments and stuff.
That one had quite a few views on.
Dude,
that's why
that's
exactly why they deleted it.
But they didn't delete it for many months. In fact, they just deleted it a couple of weeks ago, out of nowhere, randomly.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't random. It was around the time that it was very politically. The timing politically was like beyond coincidence.
Yeah.
It was very strategic.
What was the other one called with Dr. Kimberly? What was that one video called?
Oh boy, I forget what he called it. But Dr. Kimberly McGeorge's name's right in the title, if anybody's looking for it.
Yeah.
And I'll pull up the link after this and post it. But let's see if anybody's chatting to us. I'm going to buy a better computer, folks, when I can afford it and I won't be lagging and stuff like this. Well, we really will chat back. I'm not a liar. I've been a liar so far. Every time I say that, we chat back. No, we don't. We want to.
We chat back.
Okay. Most intolerant, live and fancy. Anyone else buffering? Not here. Refreshed. Thanks. Liberal is not socialist. Liberalism supposed to mean free, tolerant. Yeah, I think liberal and progressive are two different things. Liberal would mean loose, free to do as you will. Conservative means also the same thing, free to do as you will, no government. Like, liberal and conservative are actually not two ends of they've bastardized it. What they do is they create duality conflicts. It's called thesis plus antithesis equals synthesis. So they just get two opposing sides, whether it's black versus white people, men versus women, one political like espouse that they can bring up or another, and they just clash them together, and that produces their synthesis. They do this ahead. They predict outcomes like before they even start to instigate the fight, and that's called problem, reaction, solution. They create a problem that they predict will have a certain reaction, and then they offer the solution that they wanted to bring about all along to the problem that they caused. Like, this is how these guys operate, man. This is I read their doctrine.
Yeah, but like, it makes sense though. Like, I have to give it to them. Like, it's a
they're genius.
way. Like, that's a genius thing to do. Create a problem. Like,
they're that clever because
they're
that clever because they're the same fucking Egyptian Pharisees bloodlines. Literally, they document themselves back to the Egyptian Pharisee. They claim and they show through like incest, inbreeding, and arranged marriages that they are the same Pharisee bloodline, and they are therefore the elect, the elite. The same guys that used to sacrifice people and fucking do depraved things back then are doing it now. They're just doing it underground, and they finance the leaders. So that way, when people get pissed off and go like guillotine their heads off, eventually they're financing the next ones that come in too, and we don't even know they exist. They're behind their castle wall somewhere, fucking having orgies and drinking blood, and we don't even know they exist and they're running the world.
Yeah.
Old man Rothschild figured that scam out in the 1700s.
Yeah, I feel like if people question like, is this real? Just look into something as simple as like the health industry, and like
all Rockefeller in America, anyways.
Yeah, think about any illness that you've had and you've gone to like your general practitioner and you've gotten like a cure. Well, not even a cure, because it can't even be called a cure. It's
right.
Like,
yeah, it's not outrageous.
They give you whatever, they prescribe you whatever without even asking enough questions to know what you need, and then they give you whatever they need to help
keep you coming back. Keep you coming back. They don't want to cure you
until the next time you need the dose, and
to satiate you enough that you will shut up and come back in a couple of weeks and want something else.
Yeah, so they're not curing you. A cure is something that
they don't want to cure you because they'll lose you as a customer.
They maintain you. They mask the symptoms of what you have. They don't cure you.
You know, they're not even taught basic human fucking diet and whatnot as medical doctors in medical school. When I found that out, I was like, what? That's not the fundamental like teaching that they're learning before anything else. They don't learn it ever.
Right.
They don't put much faith in diet being the fundamental like building block of a human being or an animal.
Yeah, they don't ask
So
you
I
if
don't
you
believe in their fucking
exercise.
medical opinion.
No, you can't, because they don't ask you simple questions. If you go to the doctors for depression, before they ask you any questions, well, enough questions, they'll prescribe you antidepressants.
Which are so
Like, they won't ask you if you exercise. They won't ask you if you're
right.
sleeping enough. They won't ask you.
They're not trying to figure out what caused the depression. They're treating you as if
Yeah.
depression is inherent in you or something, and they can cure it. Why don't we figure out? Oh, I used to tell them, I'm depressed because my life fucking sucks right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm depressed. Who wouldn't be depressed, doc? No, well, I mean, like, obviously, but like, it's not like some mystery or like we have to figure it out. It's like my life sucks. Who wouldn't be depressed? You'd be depressed, doctor. But guess what? Every SNRI and SSRI antidepressant, every like mass murder in this country, they've all had one thing in common. They've been on antidepressants, serotonin reuptake inhibitor, SSRI, SNRI, every one of them. I've got that from numerous police officers that investigate this stuff and have noticed it. That's a problem.
That's a problem. I didn't even know that, but that's a problem.
Well, when you take them, I've been through many psych more than I've ever care to admit, but it's worse. I've been manic before, and taking those antidepressants is worse than being manic, because at least manic, you're feeling emotions, they're extremes or whatever. But when you take those antidepressants, neutral, being consciously aware of the fact that you're emotionally neutral is a very bad place.
Yeah. I've seen it in people as well, like some family members who have been like very manic, and then taking antidepressants. It's not nice to see. Like, it's not nice to see at all.
They lose their personality, I feel, a lot.
Yeah.
Not to mention, man, it gave me like shocks, electrical shocks in my brains that like I can only describe as like terrible brain zaps. Like,
really?
And you know my history.
How many years were you on the antidepressants for?
I mean, I never took them for like, I think the longest stretch I was ever on them was like when I got out of rehab for like 6 months to a year or something like that, like one consecutive. But like, I would try them here and there, like try to throw my mom a bone or the doctor a bone. All right, I'll try them again, you fuckers. And, you know, same thing. But think of the serotonin reuptake inhibitor. What the guys, think about it. I like to pride myself as being like scientific, logical, all that shit. Serotonin reuptake inhibitor. What the fuck are they fucking around? They don't know what they're doing. I've looked into the medical reasoning for all this. Dude, it doesn't jive. It's not sensible. There's many doctors out there that, like psychiatrists and whatnot, they're like, this is awful. It's not sensible at all. I don't know how it ever got passed through, but now that we can see the results, like it's crazy. My Suboxone doctor to get me off heroin, I was in that clinic forever, and I remember being like, doc, you've had me at the highest dose for this long. When are we gonna do this tapering thing? I want to get off this shit. And I've been here for like 2 years. And he's, oh no, I don't trust. I remember one time I was like manipulating him to try to figure out what he's doing, and I was like, man, you put up with all these asshole junkies all day, every day. I don't know how you do it, doc. He's like, you know what? It's because I love money. I was like, yep, you're a fucking lawful drug dealer. I knew it all along, just like my mom's been saying. Like, my mom was like, that guy's, I hate that guy. I was like, yeah. Wow. If only we had known. Dude, that's a drug dealer that's sanctioned by the state, that's making a killing, and he's a fucking nerd that would never make it in the streets as a real drug dealer. It's just so egregious. And they're getting away with things that real drug dealers don't even do. Like, they're more egregious, but they would never do it to you because they're pussy. You know what I mean? It's just like so egregious.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So yeah, like if you are kind of like, if people question you, because I know like if you do have kind of controversial views on government or on just like life in general, people will always be like, well, this can't be it because the government don't lie, or the government don't do this, the government don't do that. The most simple thing is to ask them to look into the health industry, I think.
Or ask them, tell them this. I think that the stat now, since Trump cut it in half, is 400,000. But when I first learned about this in 2016, this is what really, or maybe 2018 somewhere, 800,000 children go missing in the United States every year. Fact. And I looked into that, like, to prove that that's a true number, and it's acknowledged by the DOJ. That was the stat. Yeah. Trump cut it in half officially, so it's 400,000 or so. He did that in one term. So if he would have had a second term, he probably would have ended it all. But anyways, he would have literally eliminated it, just like he said he was going to. But anyways, when I thought about, cool, we're getting near the end, but I just want to bring this point real quick. When I did the quick math in my head, I was like, that's hundreds of children going missing every single day, and I've never hear it reported on the news.
Never.
That can't be incompetence. That can't be an accident. They must be covering for it, because even if it was incompetent or whatever, every once in a while they'd accidentally report it. You know what I mean? The fact that it's never reported tells me that the press is not only bad journalists, they are fucking propaganda covering for fucking child trafficking and that kind of stuff.
That's what I started on too.
That's what got me going.
That's what started me going. Like, this was only last year as well, like through lockdown. So I do say, like, I do thank God for lockdown. Like,
dude, COVID-19,
because if that wasn't there, then I wouldn't have learned any of the shit that I've learned. I couldn't believe it, that number. I did the same thing. I was like, what? 800,000? Like,
can't be right. I'm gonna go look into that to make sure that's not true.
Is it 800 or 80? I don't know, but even
it was 800,000 at the time. It was 800,000 at the time.
Crazy, like.
Quick math: 800,000 divided by 365. That's hundreds of kids going missing every single day. Never once reported on the mainstream news, guys. They must be covering for it. They must be covering for it.
And at this point, when I was reading all this shit, I was like still opposed to Trump. And then, like, once I learned like what he did, I was like, boo. I was like, fuck Donald Trump. And
fuck
then
Trump. He's racist. He's sexist.
After I like learned, after I researched like heavily into this shit, I was like, no, this can't be. Like, this can't be. But it was. And then I learned what Trump had done to combat that, and I was like, okay.
And why is that?
Why haven't I never heard that before? Well, that's kind of like my own fault, because I wouldn't research into things. I was kind of like very objective. I was like, I don't have an ideology that aligns to like a political party. I just have my own thoughts on things.
Guess what? Neither does Trump. Trump ran as a Republican because you have to, in this two-party system, be one or the other. And Hillary Clinton was like the establishment one. So he was a Democrat his whole life. Dude, Trump's a businessman. He's an angler. He don't give a fuck. That's why the Republicans.
Yeah, Nick loves Trump. It's like his number one fan.
Honestly, the guy's won me over through his actions, like, despite being very skeptical of him from the beginning. Like, the first thing that made me start thinking twice, like, maybe he's not a bad guy, is when he's like squashed the beef with North Korea overnight. Because I knew they were using that to facilitate World War III. Peace in the Middle East.
Who would have thought?
He stopped every war we've been in. Hasn't made any new ones. They thought he was going to be a warmonger. Before COVID, black unemployment levels lowest they've ever been. Women lowest they've ever been. Asian, Latino lowest they've ever been. How could he be racist or sexist if any of that's true? Can't be. My black friends, I grew up kind of in like I don't want to say like an impoverished area, like more like black. And my black friends were the ones that started turning me on to Trump. That's when I was like, guys, you like Trump? He's racist and stuff. They're like, bro, you remember what? Before he started running for politics, every rapper wanted to be Donald Trump. Everybody loved the guy. So when's he become racist? Since he just announced he was going to run. But anyways, we're down to the end of the show now. So let's make sure we haven't missed anybody, girl. You might help me look in the YouTube comments. I'm going to look in Pilled real quick.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome.
Just to let you know, guys, this was like a coming back kind of show. So the other ones that we make, they're going to have a theme. This is kind of just like an interaction show, like kind of just talking off the bat, but we'll have actual topics to talk about and
presentations, graphics,
yeah, photos, evidence, documents, the whole thing. We'll have.
You guys get ready, man. Hyperactivity, it's coming.
This is just like a welcome. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. This is like my first video, so I was like, this is kind of like a tester, like testing the waters to see.
That's why I didn't want to get. I just wanted to like introduce Aisha to you guys because she's a natural hit. She's like her personality, her smart, everything. So like I wasn't worried about that, but I didn't want to like script it too much and make her have to worry because then she wouldn't be her natural self. So I hope you guys don't mind. But if you do, like, with all due respect, you can tune the dial. I'm not putting a gun in anybody's head.
You can just flick it off your screen if you want. So,
that's the beauty of Uncensored
freedom.
Yeah, you know, like we don't have advertisers like that. We're not catering to anybody. Nobody's telling us what to say or whatever. And frankly, like I'm not. Again, if you don't like it, that's cool, man. Not gonna stop me, and I'm not asking you to listen. Thank you. Politely tune out. But no, okay. So we gotta go. Yeah. Good riddance. You know what I mean? No, this has been fun. I think. Oh, R's commenting. They get massive kickbacks from pharmaceutical. Okay, so we're about to be over here. Aisha, while I'm reading these comments up, you have any like final thoughts or something you want to wrap this up? If you don't, that's cool too.
All right. Not really.
Well, I'm putting you on the spot.
Nice
Say
to
something.
know, like it would just be like nice to know what people like talking about, or like would like to hear people talking about.
Guys, give us any feedback, please. We're begging. What do you guys want us to talk about?
Also, join the Discord, the Discord group that Nick created.
Aisha,
can you like do a link? You should definitely link that below because we have some really good conversations. Before I would join this group, I was kind of like in my own head, like researching all this stuff and learning about all this stuff like in my own head. But when I started talking to the people on the group, it was amazing. I love all of them.
That's such an amazing feeling because that's like all I wanted when I like tried to make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. Like I feel like we all need to just, I don't have answers or anything, but I can tell you that the only way we're going to get answers is by starting by talking.
Absolutely.
Oh, Tracy, Lil Regina said, we love you, Sim. So, hey, that's some good feedback. Thank you.
Love Regina.
Yeah,
she's
like
the funniest person. Like, I'll literally be almost crying laughing.
Yeah, because she busts my balls. That's what
she doesn't even know she's funny, though. That's why she's funny. She doesn't even know.
I know, because she's like just eviscerating me, and you love every second of it.
It's great.
She's emasculating me. She's like, no, Nick, shut up. Nick. I'm like, no, La Regina, no.
I can like hear Nick getting all like flustered, and I'm like, yes. Keep going.
She's like, I love this. Give me my popcorn. All right, guys. I just linked the Discord in DLive and on Pilled on the broadcast. I'm going to go do it on YouTube if I can. I'll do it after this because we're going to bail out of here. Like James Brown always said, kill him and leave. So ADHD, we all over the place. We in and out of these crazy topics. Hyperactive, come back. We're going to be a lot more often. You don't want to see or hear from me, but you have to put up with me to get this girl. Come back for more of her.
Oh, come back for both of us. Come back for both of us. And special guests.
And,
that's special guests you might have.
I got a lot of those good. You're gonna have to tolerate me because I got a lot of good guests. So, all right, Uncensored Dave representing all day. This is ADHD, pill.net. Fuck YouTube.
Walk with love, guys. Walk with love.
We out. Make love, not YouTube.